Hey YouTube, today we're going to be looking at a pretty neat little 357 Magnum revolver, and what we have here in front of us is a Smith and Wesson 586-4 357 Magnum. And before we go any further in this, I'm going to show you that this Smith and Wesson 357 Magnum does not have anything in it, and we are clear to make this video without having any magic bullets fly. So what we have here, this is a Smith and Wesson 586 -4, and I say -4 because Smith and Wesson does this thing with their model numbers. Every time they make a change in something in production, they change the end of the model number and put a dash and then put 4. So this is the fourth change that they made when they released the 586. So the 586 came out in 1980, and this particular one here was the fourth change in production, and this one was manufactured somewhere around 1993. Now, I don't know the exact year. I'm not a Smith and Wesson expert, and I don't understand their year of manufacturing thing, and they don't have an easy way like Colt does, where you can just plug the serial number in, but it really doesn't matter. It's somewhere around 1993. So some of the changes that was made, I have another 586, a 6-inch one that's in no dash. It was a first year production one, and I'm going to show you some of the changes that I see that they made. This rear sight here is a little bit different. It has a little white outline on it, and these grips are obviously different. This is the first year they started getting away from the wood grips and started putting rubber grips on them. They still have the little Smith and Wesson signal up, little emblem up here on the top. They're like finger groove. They're actually really comfortable, like Hogue style grips. I don't know if Hogue makes them or not, but I'm sure they do. Show you a little some of the markings on them. It just says Smith and Wesson down here, and on the side here it says Smith and Wesson. On the other side, you're going to have where it's made in the USA and all the Smith and Wesson stuff. And on this side, it says Smith and Wesson 357 Magnum. They still did an absolutely excellent job on the bluing on this thing. It looks like a mirror. Any of these imperfections you see here is just fingerprints and oils and stuff like that from it being stored. Now, I'm thinking about actually getting a set of wood grips for this thing, like an older set of Smith & Wesson stocks, because I like those a lot. I'm a big fan of those, and putting them on here, I'll just save these rubber grips for like shooting them sometimes or for comfort purposes. But a lot of people get tied up into the Smith & Wesson thing, the later dashes and all that, and I don't understand these wing nuts. I mean, as long as you get one of the ones that doesn't have that lock in it, the action's going to work pretty smooth. Now this one here is when they still had the firing pin mounted on the hammer, and the trigger and hammer are color case hardened, as you can see. So they still did some good stuff. There's still no MIM parts inside the -4 586. They're all Ford's parts, Ford's frames and cylinders and everything like that. It's just a really well built revolver. Now Smith & Wesson, as you know, it goes counterclockwise when you do it, and the single action pull on this thing is very light, and the double action pull is smooth all the way through. The lockup on this thing is phenomenal. There's like virtually no movement. It almost feels like a Colt on this one. This one locks up tighter than pretty much all the rest of the Smith & Wessons that I own. But this is a great revolver. I can't say anything bad about them. The Smith & Wesson 586s are the blued ones in carbon steel, and the 686 are the ones that are in stainless steel. They had the full underlug underneath them, and the target sights, target hammer, and all that kind of stuff. This was kind of an answer, Smith & Wesson's answer to the famous Colt Python. They made this gun to compete directly with the Colt Python. There's people out there that'll say this one will outshoot a Colt Python. There's people out there that think those people are nuts. I have no idea. I know this is an awesome gun. I like this 4-inch configuration, and I wish it had wood grips on them, but I think we'll change that here soon. Maybe we'll find an old set of grips or something that's got some problems that we don't have to pay $1 million for, and we'll refinish them or something like that and put them on here. Or maybe we'll just get lucky and just stumble across a pair. But this gun, there's nothing wrong with it. It's in excellent condition. Like I said, here, if anybody wants to look up the actual serial number on it, there it is right there. If they want to tell me what year it's made, that would be cool. I don't have a way of telling that, and I never really cared that much about them. But Smith and Wesson revolvers, they're always going to be top tier. They're always going to look really nice. I think the newer ones don't have quite the finish work on them and the bluing, and like I said, there's some mem parts. The actions don't work quite as nice. It doesn't seem like on the newer one. So I prefer these older ones. I mean, this one here's about 30 years old or so. It was made in 1993, at least 30 years old. So people used to make them a little bit better than they do now. That seems to be true with pretty much any item you have. But anyway, folks, I wanted to show you this little close-up of a Smith and Wesson 586-4 and the 4-inch configuration, and let me know what you think about it. Anyway, folks, thank you very much for watching my video today, and you folks have a great day.